Time being 7:03, we'll call the Ripon Area Fire District Board meeting to order. Roll call, Ms. Schatzinger.
Here.
Mr. Orgula.
Here.
Mr. Hanson.
Here.
Mr. Page.
Here.
Sorry. And I'm here. Absent is Mr. Gatsky. I apologize for that. Sort of. Any corrections to the agenda? If not, we'll look for a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any public comment? Hearing none. Move on to Secretary's report. You should have 4 different copies. Hopefully you had time to look through them. Any comments or corrections? No?
I didn't look yesterday at it. They weren't there Sunday yet, so,
Emailed out yesterday.
yeah, so I didn't look.
I went through and I didn't.
There wasn't anything.
I didn't see
I'll make a motion to approve the secretary's reports as presented.
Why don't you list the dates on that, or Jim can add that.
We had the
That's why I said
meeting,
reports.
Special meeting in November, the regular meeting in November, per Mike's
I
request
don't need
last
it if you
meeting.
want it.
And then we had the one for February.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
He follows directions well, doesn't he?
Pardon?
He follows directions well.
It's hand signal.
That's
You
what
can't
you
hear.
said. I mean, you told him
I
earlier.
can't hear.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes to approve the Secretary's report.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Mr. Hanson. Treasurer's report. Accounts payable.
I really don't have much to point out except on page 1 where it says, River Community Church, there's a tax and a fire inspection thing, there was a mix-up with the payment should have went to the city and went to us instead, so Barb took care of that. That's what that is, and I got really nothing else to point out. I don't know if somebody has any questions.
Any other questions or concerns for the chief?
That's the new laser printers.
The what?
New laser printers from France.
Yep, we got 2 new printers, copier effects, or laser printers. The other ones were, one of them died and the other one was an addition.
The gas detectors, those are for the natural gas? Or?
No, those are our 4 gas meters and CO meters.
What's the church thing?
The what?
Forward Ripon Community Church.
That's what I just said. There was a payment that was received by us, or it should have went to the city of Ripon
Oh, that
instead.
was the,
Yeah, it was just a mix-up, so.
all right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I had my mask on. Can't talk with that thing on.
Any other questions or concerns?
Otherwise, I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and accounts payable for February.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any update on,
This, we had a couple in the last month here, so a couple conversations I know Tim had, Chief had when he was out about, and I know I had a couple myself as well, a couple of them that just didn't realize the fact that submit it to your insurance company and we'll get paid. So, still doing okay, a couple came off, and I know I talked to Tim about one that will be coming off and stuff like that, so yesterday,
Yeah,
I talked to him about it, so.
there's some deposits that were made that aren't showing on there, so town of Ripon, town of Nicholas, so. And then there's a few of these invoices, Jim, that I'm still following up on, so, the KFC said they're paying their bill, so.
And some of that stuff's gotta go to a corporate source first. and then-
KFC is like that, yeah.
Correct. So,
All
we're
right.
doing okay, it's, obviously wish it was always better, but we're not doing bad.
all right, thank you. Chief's report.
Yeah, so there's been 25 calls for the month. You see the breakdown there on page 2. And we're at the total calls for 56 for the year. Current members, we have 23 paid on call, including command staff and support staff. Lieutenant Mike Mueller has retired from the fire department, and he's just busy with work and family and kids and stuff, so we thank him for his service, and he'll be added to the retirement fund payout. I don't have his exact years of service because this just happened, so I need to confirm that, but I believe it's just right around 20. But thank you for your service. He was a great firefighter and an officer on the fire department. He'll be missed, and we did tell him he's welcome back at any time. So we do have 3 new paid on call members that are in training. That training's gonna be probably close to 6 or 8 months before they're ready to go. They all have full-time jobs, and they are 1 male, 2 female. And we have 3 new cadets. So the 3 cadets are doing great. Have a lot of faith in them that it's gonna pan out. We do have 10 paid on premise firefighters, 3 new ones starting this month. And I think we're good for the numbers we're at. So paid on premise wise. So as we talked about before, we have to have shifts for those guys, otherwise they're not gonna wanna be here anyway. Fire department EMTs have all been credentialed under Ripon EMS. So that's just another resource for both of us. We did early bird Kiwanis Fire Department Public Education Breakfast. We held that here last week. Great attendance, great questions and stuff like that, so it was good. Chicken barbecue is Sunday, this coming Sunday, March 6th, from 11 to 1, 11 to 1:30. So please get your tickets. You can get them throughout different places in Ripon, and you can contact the fire department. You can come here or 745-2262, and we'll get you some tickets. So that's Sunday, this coming Sunday, March 6th, from 11 to 1:30. That's all I have right now.
What does your help look like for that?
Pardon me?
What does your help look like for chicken barbecue? Are you set for volunteers?
Oh, we could always use more help. We're gonna be strained this year, but we'll do the best we can, so,
In-house or just
Drive-through?
drive-through?
everything. In-house, it's eat-in, drive-through, or delivery, so.
That's all you got, chief?
That's all I got for now.
All right. Moving on to old business. The retirement payouts. Those have been handled.
Yep, they're being handled with Barb, and the only one is Mike Mueller. And I would like to be able to just get an approval to pay him as long as we have the funds available.
Okay.
Like I said, I believe it's right around 20 years, 18, 21. I'd have to look and see when the start date was. Confirm the start date. So I would like approval to pay Lieutenant Mike Mueller, his retirement as pending there's enough funds in the retirement account.
Okay. Is there a motion for that, please?
What he said.
And to not deplete the account, you know what I mean? That if somebody else retires, we need to be able to pay them something, that $500.
Yeah, I have a question. Wasn't there talk last time that not only can we not deplete it, don't we keep a certain amount that we have to? What was the talk last time? That we could pay just a certain percentage?
We budget the amount, and then that if we don't use it, it stays in there,
Rolls
it builds
over.
up, it rolls over.
To your point, we, per the agreement, we only have to pay $500 per year. Because if 10 people all retired, when we first started it, we didn't have enough in the coffers, if you will, to handle paying out $30,000. But we had budgeted $3,500, I believe, originally the first year. So that was up to like 7 retirements at 500 was the initial intent. Over the years now, we've caught up, if you will, because we're putting money in and they've retired. So we had a little bit of a excess, if you will.
Yeah, buffer.
And that was the original intent, to get to that point. But, so we've always tried to pay them out if we can, just so it's not 500 here, 500 there. Do we owe this guy? Do we owe her? That kind of thing. So it's always best to get rid of it, if you will, as far as a obligation of ours. To me, and as far as accounting too, I know with the audit, they like them cleared as well. So, I think maybe that's what you meant.
And we used to budget 3,500, and maybe budget 6,500.
Yeah, when we first started.
That does help, thank you. And I guess, what I would add then to that, or my question for the motion would be to say that we will pay it out as long as we don't deplete it. It sounds like, I mean, this is early in the budget cycle. We may want to put something in more so than just, again, we don't want to be at zero.
And we've done in the past as well out of contingency. We always have our contingency fund as well. I know we've done that towards the end of the year. Oh, it's been 3-4 years now, probably since I think we've done it that way, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But we also have that contingency fund where we've used that as well, so.
And even if you want to put in there into the motion that it approved to pay him as long as we don't deplete, and approved by, Jim can, if you give Jim the blessing to be able to look at the finances, that's whatever you guys want to do.
Did you put any kind of motion in there, Jim?
No, not yet. I mean, I just have a motion to pay out Mueller in entirety for the firefighter appreciation fund, but nobody's made that yet.
And you're,
Gary did. Gary did.
Okay, I'll second it for more discussion.
Any further discussion on the motion?
I would just say pending Jim's review of our budgetary situation.
Yeah,
I mean, it's obvious,
we're
but I
talking
guess.
two grand, and we had 6,500 in there.
Okay,
So that still would leave us 4,500, that'd still be 9 guys at Perker.
Well, Krieger's still got to come out of that too.
Yeah, a little bit,
But that's not,
so, but even that's
still leaves us a few thousand in there.
18 or something.
Yeah.
So it's still 3,500, still be like 7 of them at 500, plus again, we have the other fund,
okay.
Plus what we have in there from the past.
Correct. And then the clubbers came out of that.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next on here is the fire district. The donation that we received. The chief, you should have a list in front of you of projects the chief would like to use that money for.
I did it in what I felt were the priorities of things that needed to be done. The firefighter memorial is, I don't have the exact price of that, but the association, I believe, is gonna take care of that entirety. The garage price, I added a little bit extra there for just a a cushion, not that it's gonna be 58,000, but, the actual quote was 53,000, but then you add in the cost of the doors, cause they didn't include the doors. So 58,000. The second floor construction, the price unknown, but I think take this home and read over it, tonight. The only thing I'd really like to move forward on, well, I'll keep going. The drone software upgrades, I think that's gonna, I've heard rumor that that's gonna be a shared association thing. We won't know more on that till next week, after the meeting, after the chicken barbecue. Headsets for the engine is 24, or for all the rigs are 24,000, and your justification and, my points I made are below for you to review. The west side parking area, we got a quote, last year, the year before, but everything goes up in price, so I just almost doubled that price to come up with the 15,000. And then, extrication equipment, we have not received a price on that. Our extrication equipment is outdated. The battery operated stuff has more power than the hydraulic or heavy duty stuff. The fill station for the SCBA, that price has also not come in yet. That has to actually have to do a lot of spec stuff in there, and that's the holdup for that. So there's different automated ones and this and that these days. So I would though like to get some direction or some approval to move forward with the garage, construction. That's a very needed thing, and both the garage, the upstairs, the memorial, these are projects that have been sitting for approximately the last 7 to 9 years, and I just think we need to move forward with some of that stuff. As well as, obviously we tried to save and put funds away for new equipment, engines and that type of thing. If we're gonna use these funds to finish capital projects or things for equipment that we would not normally have the money for, that we could take care of instead of borrowing, because we're gonna have to borrow for an engine either way. This is not gonna make or break, it's not gonna complete that. I know that, I hate to say this, but there's about $40,000, I'm gonna guess. That's the estimation I'm using from what I know that's left from last year. Could be less, but I think that's a good ballpark, a little bit less than that maybe. So we have that to put towards equipment replacement too. That's my own opinion. Use these funds to complete projects or to get things that we don't have to borrow for. Some of those things, we obviously got the pager grant 2 years ago for the new pagers. We'll put in another grant through, Firehouse Subs or whatever it be for the extrication equipment and the fill station. The headsets are another priority that we need to have. So again, the list isn't long, but it's a list. And those I felt are needs, not wants. So.
Is that pretty much, what you have on this list pretty much depletes those funds, doesn't it?
Well, and yeah, I don't, pretty close, but again, if we want to use those, to me, those funds should be used to complete or do something with it rather than, if we could buy a whole new engine for the whole money or whatever's left, then buy the new engine, but we're gonna have to borrow for that. So I would rather see projects get completed and things get done that need to get done, that wouldn't get done otherwise or not for a long time, probably after I'm gone.
I agree, I'd like to see these projects done, but I'd also like to see more concrete totals, not guess this, guess that, possibly this. Before I would approve anything, I want to see an exact number.
The exact, for the garage is 58,000.
Exactly. You're adding the,
Well, I want to see the bid.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta bring the bids here. We
I
gotta
wanna
approve
see the
bids.
stuff, I don't want
I do have a bid.
guesses.
Yeah, we
I
gotta-
do
we
have
gotta
the-
have all the
okay.
bids, we have to have all.
Yeah.
Okay, I have the bid, and
The
I
west side
will,
parking area, you doubled what the quote was from before?
yes, just because of, they haven't gotten back to me, so just because
Right.
of funds that went up, so,
Because, well, I'm involved with a major project that has a lot of asphalt being laid down.
yeah,
And our price from a year ago went up 20%. Just 20%, it didn't double. So
I-
these are things we need to have exact numbers so that we
Okay.
can move forward with these.
okay.
That's just my opinion.
I agree. The other thing to remember is with a donation like this, and I think we talked about it the last time, is it an operational fill or a capital fill? You know, so that if somebody does give a donation like that, is it go towards operational and salaries and to, in all due respect, to drones and headsets that are gonna become obsolete down the road? They're not gonna be something that'll be here, and granted, what may be here forever, I'm careful of that as well, but something where we can get a little bit more bang for our buck, if you will. Things that we wouldn't have normally done, or that we have been putting away, more capital type things for me. I mean, the memorial, again, the association will be taking care of that. Does the association have anything in particular from the barbecue this year that they're fundraising for?
That I can't answer on behalf of the association.
So, I mean, that'd be something to look at, because obviously that's coming up as well, that if the barbecue for the fundraising, if that would be something here for like the extrication or the fill station or something like that, because, you know, the point of the barbecue is fundraising for needs like this.
And I know they talked about the drone,
Okay.
equipment, and
Which is
so, I wholeheartedly agree with you. You guys wanted a list, this is the list I put together. I felt this was a real list of needs, not wants. And I do believe, and I agree with what you're saying about the capital project end of it. And I feel the first three things are capital projects that would not get done if it wasn't for that. And my justification to those are on there for you to absorb and review, so.
I just like the idea of the 20, 30, 50-year maybe project
Yeah.
versus again, a computer software or a headsets, again, that, all honesty, 3 years, I mean,
Technology will pass it by.
correct.
I-
It's here and gone and done.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Jim. I totally agree with you. I love the way you're thinking,
We've
because I
talked.
think the same, but again, you guys asked for a list of
Yep,
needs,
no.
that's what I put together.
How much did we have? We have 100?
126 and
Yeah, a little bit
change.
more.
And we did just get an anonymous donation, while we're talking donations, we just got another anonymous donation for $2,500. So,
Nice.
that just came, the other day, so, don't know who it's from, but thank you.
Thank you.
If you're watching,
Whoever it was.
$2,500, thank you for the donation, it really helps our cause, so.
All right, so if you can fine tune the garage for next month,
Okay,
and by then, we should know what the firefighters are gonna, the association is gonna do.
I wanted to give you this to absorb, and I think that, yeah, next meeting, I would look for approval to get some of these capital projects done, and then I would have information on what the association is gonna do and what their funds are. But I wanted to give this to you to absorb.
Is that floor done for the garage already?
Yes.
Yeah, so all they can do is put the building on
Right.
the.
But please, read this and really absorb and take in consideration what, you know, Jim is saying, and I agree with them, and, you know, projects that wouldn't have normally get done.
Oh, exactly. Just like I said, I'd like to see an accurate price instead of a guesstimate. You know, bring some bids in that
Yeah.
you have so that we can.
This
look
is
at
great
those
for the
also.
ideas, and
Yeah,
now,
that's-
if you want direction, I could see where, I guess, the board's giving direction to
More capital,
more
yes.
capital, maybe more towards the garage, I'm hearing from everybody in the group.
I think if I was given money, I'd rather have a garage, so, you know.
But as far as the second floor goes, you gotta really, I don't know who was here that night, but was it you or somebody else? Somebody went upstairs, I think a couple
I
people
toured
did.
it.
But, you know, it's been a great recruitment tool for us. I mean, I just had a guy ask, the guys who are here on Friday want to stay overnight on Saturday. They want to hang out together. They love it here. It's the same, I'm hearing that the other night we had 4 firefighters here for nothing. They were just hanging out, you know? They weren't being paid. They were just hanging out. And then when I asked them what they did, how it was, what they do for fun, I was told they sat in front of the engine until 1 o'clock in the morning and talked. That was fun. So, but I think it's been a great recruitment tool. I think it's a needed thing, so. But I'll get the capital list more in tune with exact costs, and we'll go from there.
A question to perhaps some of my more senior members, when we talk about the bid, I understand that the fire district is separate from the city, but I know the city has a process when you go for bids. Is there a process here, or can we ask the city, you know, for that? I mean,
Putting it out for general bids, you mean?
Yeah,
The fire district doesn't have
Right.
to get bids.
I understand that, but it sounds like it's a smart thing right now. You're being asked to get bids.
We don't have to go through the formal RFP process like normal municipality, because as a district. But to your point, it would be a good idea to have.
I have 2 bids for the garage,
Which he process.
so, yeah.
And the thing with the bidding process is, you want to go with someone who you know is going to do the job right, not necessarily the lowest bid.
The key term is always lowest qualified bid when you go
Yeah.
through RFPs as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
It's not just that you have to do the lowest, it's the lowest qualified. And you can unqualify somebody for
And
previous.
both the bids for the garage are from qualified, reputable companies, so.
Did they give you a time frame when it would be completed, or when they would even be able to start?
We did not get into that.
That'd be good to know too.
Yeah.
You asked that question earlier.
Okay.
Mostly because they're short out.
Well, that's
Well, I mean-
my fear, because we're just getting it now.
So when
Will
we
it be
get
this
it-
summer?
Right.
Will it be next year?
Will it even be this summer?
Right.
I'll pull strings, it'll be this summer.
Oh, boy, here we go.
I have another question before we move on, and that is, Chief, you talked that, I understand that you're giving us an idea of what the association may want to do. Is there any history here? I mean, does it make sense to sit down with the association? Is that something that we would do? I mean, here we're saying that we both have funds, we have some bigger projects. Should we not engage them more formally?
That's something that I would sit down with them and discuss, and then they can come to a meeting and present what they want to do. But
Does that mean we need to invite them? How does that work?
no, that would be through me to attend the next meeting and to have some discussion on their funds also. So,
Well, I'm just kinda wondering on this garage. If we're gonna get somebody going on it, the way things are starting to go up, if maybe we shouldn't, if that's a firm bid except for the doors, maybe we should give him the go-ahead to go with that. We can wait another month too, but you know, all that.
I think-
most people
I'd prefer
like
to
it.
see-
I think waiting another month isn't gonna kill us, right? And we'll have all the information. This was
As long as
just,
we're not into World War III, let's do that.
this,
No, we won't need it.
but this was to absorb, this was a starting point to absorb, and.
Real
we'll go-
numbers too.
Right, we'll go from there. I mean,
Can you try to get a full bid though without, I mean, is it because you can't get doors right now, or they just chose not to put doors?
because the doors will be through another company.
Right.
Okay, but so give us a cost of that with the bid for the doors, a bid for the garage.
I'll have all that next meeting, but I would entertain you to, or I would encourage you to put some thought in this, so that next meeting we can have some action on some of these items, so.
And then going to the second floor construction, as you're getting bids, as we're talking about this, it seems like it could be a good idea to ask some of the firefighters, what would they prioritize? For example, when I toured, I saw that, there's a weight room. I think there's not that much weight equipment. I could imagine, speaking of longevity of a donor, this room is furnished by a donation of this person. I could imagine, rather than piecemealing this piece of item, I could imagine a complete room or something, could be a nice thing, perhaps there's even a plaque, maybe it's furnishing an entire bedroom, for example, I don't know, but it's better than, I suppose, price unknown.
I think, I feel it's my job to recommend what needs to be done, with the input of my officers, and I get that input. And as far as the donations for the rooms and stuff, I don't know. There's been a lot of donations put up to that room already.
No, I guess my point here is, I hear Howie's saying, and I agree, we want more specifics, and if we're going to vote on this next time, I don't know how we can vote on approving a price unknown, right? I mean, I think that we need to have a specific plan for the upstairs, of what you'd like to see, and what the price would that be, right?
What I'm looking, yes, and what I'm looking for is the finished product, not what's in the rooms, not the workout equipment, but what's,
The
to
construction.
finish the construction of the rooms, to be able to put stuff in there. So,
Great, so then that would be, so now we're talking, is that another bid that you're gonna bring back for that too?
not necessarily. Not necessarily. It may be a donation, it may be a purchase down the road. I don't know, that's down the road.
Maybe I'm not explaining
I think
myself
she's asking to
correctly.
bring a bid for upstairs, if you're asking
To
to
complete
price them,
the
to complete
construction.
that.
Yes,
Bring a bid to the
yes,
next meeting, so
yes,
we
okay.
know.
I misunderstood what you're saying,
Yeah, not
Okay.
each individual room of
no,
furnishing.
no.
Just the
no.
construction.
Correct, that's, yes.
Finish the construction. Now,
Yes.
if you wanna bring alternatives, like a workout equipment alternative, I looked in equipment and that was $5,000. An alternative for beds to do this, that, and the other thing, $3,000. If you wanna bring us those kinds of things, but I think the point is to get the construction.
Yes, yes.
Years and we're good.
I'm sorry, Julian, I misunderstood what you were saying. I wasn't
I'll
following,
interpret
so.
for you.
Yeah, thank you, yeah, thank you. I'm grateful.
What are we gonna do without you, John?
The team effort, thank you.
I think, I got you, and that's the point, is that we have to have a bid that we can approve for spending this. Not just, okay, yeah, go ahead and fix it, you know.
Then you're leaving
I
an
get
open
that.
check.
Correct.
All right, moving on, the compensation for Chief Saul, this should have been put on the agenda last month. And,
Should be on my wish list.
but we could postpone it till next month.
Put that in a motion?
The whole donation thing.
Yeah, that's important though, but I'll make a motion to increase Chief Saul's health and insurance 10-2200-51310 insurance contribution by $2,000.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion on this? And this is what we agreed to,
Back when?
yes. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
We have no new business. Any discussion items? If you should have any future agenda items, get them to me as soon as you can. Our next regular meeting will be April 5th. I believe that's probably gonna be election night. It doesn't affect the town, but it affects you guys. But
Shouldn't-
you guys
shouldn't
will
make a
still be
difference,
on until May.
Correct.
I didn't hear what, election night you
Election,
said?
yeah.
Personally, as I stated last time, I think that when we have public comment available for our meetings, I realize typically people don't show up, but I personally do not like having a meeting scheduled for public comment on the night of election. But I understand that this has been something for many, many years that's been in place. And I guess I don't see that changing, but I want to voice that I do not think it's a good practice.
To have public comment on there, or just because it's the election?
Well, no, on the night of an election, when we are saying also, public comment, someone could come, but maybe they will be now voting and not available to come.
What?
What?
They can vote at 3 o'clock instead of 7.
If they can get out of work, I mean, there's a lot of assumptions, I just want to point that
I know,
out.
but I know a lot of times, people always look for reasons they can't vote.
Yeah,
I think the reason.
People used to vote and they couldn't do any of the stuff they do today. And I look at it as it's a privilege to vote, and I think sometimes we should have to put ourselves out a little bit to go. If it's that important, which it is, you know, that's what I think. If you were going on a date with your girlfriend, you know, and you'd make it work even if you had to work overtime.
Well, there's a lot of assumptions there. My point is, it seems like there's a precedence here set, and I guess I'm comfortable to move forward with that, but I do wish it was different.
Voting is 12 hours. You know, the 7 o'clock at night for 5 minutes,
And we have so many people come to.
that's pretty,
If somebody really
Pretty
wanted a
open.
public comment, they could ask us to delay that till later in the meeting, and we could do that.
That's a good point,
So
because I do think people work in the election to that point, that they can't get out, but I like that, your point
they
is
could
that we
come and
could delay it.
speak, they could do a written,
Yeah.
and one of us could read it to the record. There's a
Yeah.
lot of ways to make public comment.
I appreciate you saying that.
I mean,
And even if they do work the election night, I work that election night.
Oh, I see. If
And
they're working.
I make arrangements, I stop at 6:45 so I can get down here, do this meeting and then I go back.
Yep, got it.
And if you have,
I guess it's,
you know,
it's just like,
Yep.
Yep,
it says, if you wanna do it, you make the arrangements to do it.
And that could be something going on for every Tuesday. You know, the first Tuesday, we could all have something going on.
I know, I missed out on axe throwing tonight.
So our next regular meeting will be April 5th, 7 PM. We look for a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
So,
Time is 7:39. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.